Okay, so I want to look at area plans, but before I do, I just want to give you this little tip on reference planes. You might have seen with Revit 2017 that if you hide a reference plane, it's a little bit harder to bring back than it was in the previous releases. So you can see here I've got a view open where I've hidden my reference planes, and I'm going to click on the light bulb, and there you can see that the other things I've hidden, in this case the elevation views, they've come up in that colour that shows hidden things, that magenta sort of pink colour, but I still can't see the reference planes. So I'll click on the light bulb to go back to normal display, and I'm going to go to a view where I have some reference planes showing, so my ground floor plan there. You can see I've got the reference planes showing, and so I'm going to hide them there using hide in view by category. And again, I'll show you now, if I click on the light bulb, no reference planes. So how do you bring them back? And the answer is that you go into your view properties. So over here in properties, you can see it's got floor plan, which means it's showing me the properties of this view. And then you've got the visibility graphics option there, visibility graphics overrides, and you click on the edit button. That brings up your visibility settings, essentially. You can also just type VV, which is the shortcut. And so then, if you go to annotation categories, scroll down, you'll see that reference planes are hidden. So I'll turn the tick box back on there, click OK, and I've got my reference planes back. I'll just do that again. So in the other view, again, either VV or the edit button, and again, annotation categories, and you'll see again down here, my reference planes are turned off. Okay, so you can see there I've got a reference plane drawn to mark my north direction, which is a useful thing to have in this site analysis view. I might come back and show you some other things for site analysis later, but again, that's just a useful tip about reference planes. And so then going on, now I want to make some area plans so that I can work out the areas both for some of the spaces that have been established. I can definitely work out the areas inside these walls, but I'm also going to make some other areas that aren't defined by walls. So to make an area plan, you've got the area panel in the on the architecture tab. So you've got room and area here, and I'll just point out rooms quickly because a lot of people just go straight to using rooms and find that they will give you areas, and then they go on and use those for areas. But you'll see area plans are actually a better way. So firstly, I'm going to click area there and then choose area plan. You can see then it asks which view you want as the starting point for your area plan. And you've got two options. You've got rentable and gross building. So in this case, I'm going to use the rentable option because I'm trying to make areas that are within the building footprint. Gross building's better for the whole building, and it's good for doing whole floor plates, but again in this case I'll go for rentable. And I'm going to choose ground floor as the level that I'm starting with. Okay, and it'll ask you if you want to automatically create boundary lines associated with external walls. Usually you can say yes there. And so now you can see that this is no longer my ground floor plan. In the project browser you can see there it's no longer bold, so it's not the open view. If I scroll down you can see the open view. Once I expand this new section or category area plans, the open view is ground floor in area plans, which shows you that it's a new view it's created. It's a new type of view. It's an area plan which is different to a floor plan. And so then if I zoom in a little bit you can see that it's made these boundaries. So those boundaries are automatically put onto the inside of the wall because of the rules that have been set up previously. And if you go around you can see that they go all around the inside of the walls, but sometimes you'll have gaps between those lines, and that's absolutely fine. It still works with those. So now I want to define some of the spaces that I'm going to have within this this boundary. And it might start at the back, since that's where maybe most of the new things are going to go. So now you can see in the room and area panel, below area, I've got the option to make area boundaries. And then you've got all of the drawing tools that you have normally. And I'm going to just go to the first tool there, the line tool, and draw an area. Maybe I'll just trace the wall back here. And you can see here automatically when I finish this line that it's taken it to the middle of the wall. Again, don't worry about that, it'll still work. So it does a lot of these things automatically, and usually that's fine. If it isn't doing what you want, you can turn this option here off to apply area rules. And sometimes that can help. Just up here on the options bar. You only need to do that if it's putting the lines in places you don't want. So here again, I'll just draw a new shape. And then maybe I'll just do one more down here. Okay, so now I can start making some actual areas. So I've done my area plan, I've made some area boundaries, and now clicking under that area panel again, you can see we've got this new option to make areas. So I'm going to choose that, and then you can see that I can pick inside any of those boundaries that I've defined. So those enclosed spaces at the back, I can already see the square metre area there. And I'll go and just place the next one. And I'll finish there. So if those boundaries move, I might just grab this line and drag it down, then the area calculation changes automatically, which is really useful.
Sorry, how did you get that one with the cross on it?
So that's the area option. So under here, when you click area, then you've got the option to choose area again. Yeah. So I'll place another one down inside this enclosed area. And just while I'm doing that, I'll show you what happens if I try to go into an area where there's no boundary defined, that it'll tell you it's not enclosed. And you shouldn't be putting areas there usually. Okay, so I'll leave this inner part for now until I've defined that more. So I'll just cancel to finish. So you can see I've got 3 areas defined. And at the moment they're all called area. So I'm going to go and give them different names. Right, so this here might be staff amenities. Is that right? Yep. And this might be the service area, or sorry, no, the toilet block. Probably change all of this, but for now, that'll do. And maybe this can be a meeting room. Okay, so you'll see in a moment why those names are really important. It's obviously going to help to label them, but it does more than that, which I'll show you in a moment. So I might just go and make another, some more area boundaries, just so that, again, I can draw some more lines and, again, make another area that you'll understand in a moment. So I'll just draw in something fairly rough here. And then going back to area, click inside that space. And now I want to give this one the same exact name as the previous one. So I've called this meeting room as well. So now on the annotate tab, I'm going to go to colour fill legend, which is again probably a new tool that you maybe haven't used before. So it's over on the end under annotate, or in the colour fill panel there. So near the end you should have that colour fill legend option. And I'm just going to place that over to the side. Then you can see there it's come up asking about the space type. I've only got the one option there, and the same with colour scheme. We've only got the one option, scheme 1, so I'll just leave those defaults. Click OK, and it's got a colour now that's been given to all of those areas that I've made, and that's the colour coming up in the legend. But I want different colours for each of those different areas. So now I'm going to select that colour fill legend, and you'll see then you get the option to edit scheme up on the ribbon there. So I'll give this scheme a new name. I'm going to change it to coloured spaces or areas. Spaces is fine. And I'm going to change the colour option to name. And just click OK if you get this message. So you can see now it's picked up the names that I've given to those areas, and it's assigned automatically a random, usually a Pantone colour. You can change those just by clicking, but I'll just leave those defaults and click OK. So you can see now those colours have come up in the legend automatically. And if I now go on and make new areas, so maybe you'll have a what's the word for it? A thoroughfare, essentially, or some sort of access hallway and stairway that goes through the middle of the space or something like that, I don't know, but just as an example, I'll go and make some new area boundaries now. Just drawing some lines again. Just take this right through the space maybe, and maybe we'll do an axis that goes all the way through. Okay, so I've got my new area boundaries, so I can go and make an area now inside those. And then, again, I'll press escape so I can select that text now, and I'll change this to access, or, yeah, that'll do. Or corridor even would be okay, but access is probably good. So there we are. So you can see now it's added that category to my legend. And again, as before, if I move any of those boundaries, the square metre total gets updated. Now, if you're wondering if you can do a total of those areas, you can. You need to use a schedule for that. But I'll cover that later. You don't need that for this assignment for me. I don't know if you need it for your studio class. You maybe will, but again, that's something you can look at later. But again, if you're curious, use schedules for that. So you can see here we've got some automatic schedules. The door and the window schedule were already there, but you can add area schedules as well that will give you things like a listing of all of these areas and then a total of the area. You can do it for each floor and then a total area for your whole building, which can be a good thing as well. But for now, again, all we need is those areas showing on the plan with the nice clear colour coding as well. Over here's a good thing. And so you can see, just maybe to point out one last thing, that the meeting room has the same colour automatically as well because it's got the same name. Yep, no worries. Yep, sure. Yep. No worries. Yep, sure. Okay, so that's really all you need to know about area plans for now, but again, one of those really useful tools in a practical way because, again, as I was saying before, when you submit an application to council, you'll always need to give detailed floor space areas. And that's the best way to work out areas with Revit. Sure.
Can you change the names between the legend and the area? You know that sometimes you have like one, and
Yeah.
then on the legend you have what it is one. Can you change those or no?
I'm not sure I understand. So,
This name
yeah, yeah.
is related to that.
Yes,
Can you
yeah.
change those two names to a different one?
Oh, yes, of course, yeah. So, yep, so if I decide
No,
later...
but if I change one,
Yeah,
it would change the other
of
one.
course, yes, yeah. So, yeah, that's fine. If you change one, yep, the other one will change, yep, absolutely.
Okay.
So if I change this just to amenities, then...
It would change the
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And also, you're going to get, in this legend, you'll get areas from other levels as well. So that's another thing to watch out for. There are ways of getting around that, but yeah, that's what will happen at first. Still, for all of that, it's a really useful tool, and the fact that it automates all of these things is really useful as well. So I might just hide the reference planes there, and the views. You won't need those. So try to keep the graphics fairly clean as well in your area plans. Usually don't need a lot of detail. And yep, so that should be all you need to know to make your area plans. And then, so next we're going to have a look at how you can use massing then to model in 3D off your area plans and do conceptual diagrams with some elevation or some height information as well.